What's up, everybody? Marissa V. Grayson here. For those of you who do not know me, I am a child custody and family law attorney, mediator, and co-parent coach, and you are watching Marissa V TV, where we talk about all things blended family. And today I wanted to come on and talk about child support and the importance of paying your child support orders or taking the steps necessary to modify them or have them terminated if necessary. So the reason I wanted to come on and talk about this is because I have handled several cases where a parent has a child support order in place, and for one reason or another, they are unable to pay their child support. They have had a change in circumstances, such as a loss of job or a change in job, something like that. And for one reason or another, they don't pay their child support. The problem with this is that just because you stop paying doesn't mean that it disappears. So what happens is, in addition to the child support that's constantly accumulating, you're also accumulating interest. So in many cases that I've handled, we've had to deal with interest rates and interest charges that have been added to the child support that's been calculated. And in some of my cases, it's been thousands, and I'm talking $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth of child support charges that were specifically interest. All because a parent chose not to pay and didn't take the steps to modify or terminate the child support, just thinking that it was just going to go away. So for example, if you're paying child support and then your custody arrangement changes and your child comes to live with you, then you have to file to terminate the child support, or at least contact your child support office to initiate those proceedings. And depending on what state you're in, that's what's going to determine whether you need to actually file a motion or whether the child support department will handle it. But whatever it is, you have to take those steps, because otherwise the child support is going to be steady ticking, steady adding on to your balance. And then before you know it, you owe $30,000 of child support. And you're like, wait a minute, I've had my kid living with me for the last 3 years. And then we have to go through this process of trying to prove to the court that your child was living with you. And in some cases, you may have another parent who was collecting this child support, right? And they're going to say, no, they weren't living with them. They were just staying with them sometimes. And though ultimately you may be able to prove it if you kept enough documentation and you handled all your business in that regard, the headache that comes with having to enforce the fact that you've had your kids and to prove that to the court is not worth it, when you could have just filed your motion or made your request as soon as you got your kids, or as soon as you lost your job, or as soon as your income changed, or whatever the case may be. So I just want to encourage you guys. You see it in the news all the time with the celebrities. They've made thousands and thousands of dollars in child support already, but then they've let other child support orders accumulate. And then they have, $150,000 they owe. Like, when are you going to pay that off? How are you going to pay that off? And why? Why would you want to pay that much money when you don't really need to? So you just need to make sure that, instead of having to invest in an attorney to go and fight and go through a whole trial to prove that, your children lived with you, or you should have paid your child support, but you didn't because of X, Y, and Z, just handle it up front. Because in some situations, for example, if you lost your job and you just stopped paying and you didn't pay for 2 years, you can't go back later in many cases and say, hey, the reason I wasn't paying is because I didn't have any money. It's not going to necessarily be retroactive. So you're still going to owe that money, and you're going to be struggling to try to figure out how you're going to pay off this money that you could have just went to the court and requested them to modify it while you lost your job, so that that child support wouldn't be accumulated, or so the amount would be lower. So anyhow, more tips about child support are on my YouTube channel. I am Marissa V. Grayson everywhere on social media. I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Google me. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. That's just my not so legal advice for the day. So if you enjoyed this video, please share with someone who may need it. And until next time, I hope you have a blessed one.